In 1455, tensions boiled into open battle at the town of St. Albans. On one side, King Henry and his loyal lords, on the other, Richard of York and his allies. The clash was brief but decisive. The king's men were routed, noble blood spilled on the cobbled streets. Richard of York emerged triumphant, not yet king, but now the master of England's destiny. This first spark lit the fire. England became a realm where loyalty shifted like the tide, where betrayal was the coin of survival. Castles changed hands, families were split, and every noble house carried the stain of civil war. The war escalated until 1461, when the Red Rose of Lancaster and the White Rose of York met in their deadliest confrontation, the Battle of Towton. The sky was heavy with snow, the wind bitter and cruel. On that field, more than 60,000 men fought. Archers loosed clouds of arrows, cavalry thundered, and steel clashed until the ground itself turned red. Snow and blood mixed into rivers of death. By day's end, it is said, over 20,000 men lay slain, the bloodiest battle ever fought on English soil. From this sea of carnage emerged a new king, Edward IV of York, young, strong, and triumphant. The White Rose now sat upon the throne, but victory would not bring peace. Edward's reign was marked by brilliance and peril. He was bold, handsome, and loved by many. But he defied the great lords when he married Elizabeth Woodville, a commoner widow of beauty and ambition. One man, in particular, turned against him, Richard Neville, Earl of Warwick, known to history as the Kingmaker. Once Edward's greatest ally, Warwick betrayed him, raising armies to restore the Lancastrian cause. For a brief moment, the Red Rose of Lancaster bloomed again. Henry VI, fragile and broken, was restored to the throne. Yet Edward would not be denied. With ruthless resolve, he returned, crushed his foes, and sent Warwick to the grave. Edward IV reigned for years, but death came too soon. Upon his passing, the kingdom fell into the hands of his brother, Richard, Duke of Gloucester. History remembers him as Richard III. The tale grew dark. Edward's sons, the young princes, were taken to the Tower of London, never to be seen again. Whispers spread that Richard had murdered them to secure his crown. True or not, the stain was indelible. Richard III ruled, but mistrust and fear followed him like a shadow. In 1485, destiny brought the final clash. A new challenger arose, Henry Tudor, a distant Lancastrian heir, hardened by exile. He returned with foreign support and faced Richard at Bosworth Field. The battle raged, and Richard fought with the fury of a cornered lion. Yet betrayal sealed his fate. Some of his allies turned against him, and he was surrounded. Richard died in the mud, crying, a horse, my kingdom for a horse." With his fall, the Wars of the Roses ended. Henry Tudor was crowned Henry VII, and through his marriage to Elizabeth of York, he united the red and white into a single emblem, the Tudor Rose. The Wars of the Roses had left England scarred, tens of thousands lay dead, noble families extinguished, and the crown tarnished by blood. Yet from the ashes rose a new dynasty, the Tudors, who would transform England into a rising power. The Civil War of Roses taught a grim lesson, that ambition without restraint leads only to ruin, but it also forged a new era, one where the kingdom found strength, stability, and a destiny that would echo across history. And so the tale of Lancaster and York ends not in one house's triumph, but in their union, born of blood, betrayal, and the sword.